God revealed to me that day that I am laboring for Him in my pride, and because I can do it, and because I think I'm awesome. And I never come out and say that, and maybe some of you would come out and say that you're awesome. Maybe you are awesome. I don't know. But I would never come out and say that. But when I reflect on my heart and I stop and I think about why am I doing the things that I'm doing, who am I hoping people will point to and think is awesome? Is it me or is it God? And man, that day, God showed me that I have a lot of pride in my heart. That even though I never say it, I think I'm awesome and I think I can fix the church myself. If I try hard enough, if I study hard enough, if I speak eloquently enough, if I meet enough people and influence the people, I can do that. And God began to humble me. And that took the form of just kind of some chaos as I was working in a church. God had to begin to kind of chop me down to get to the point where I could hear him. I don't know if you've been there. Yeah, I don't know. Still rough to think about. But I went through a season, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what you'd call it. I went through this season where systematically it seemed God took things away from me. Things that I loved, things that I valued, things that I thought gave me value, things that gave me security, things that gave me comfort, things that gave me joy. God just was like, all right, Jon, it's time for you to see yourself, and see your heart, and see your actions as I see them. Let me take these things away and see if just me is enough. And what I found in my heart is that it wasn't enough, right? I ended up losing my job as a pastor through, I don't know, just some miscommunication and just a rough thing that I don't need to go into. But when that happened, God showed me that a lot of my value for myself was in my vocation, was in what I was doing. My identity was wrapped up in that. And so he said, you know what, Jon, let me take that to show you that your identity is not in me. It's in what you're doing for me. I was just like, oh man, and it wrecked me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how to move forward, and in a lot of ways that's something I still deal with regularly. After that, my father was helping me kind of wade through that and counsel me through that and speak wisdom and into my life and support. And not too soon after that, he passed away. And so what God was showing me there is that God has not been my rock and my foundation, but it has been in either other people or in what I'm doing. Or once that was gone, it was like, all right, like my dad, he'll be my rock, right? I know he'll get me through this. And then he was taken away. Yeah. Not soon after that, I went into some pretty bad kidney failure, and I was needing a kidney transplant, and that just kick-started this just whole crazy medical journey that I've had from childhood, but looked like for a long time it might not be an issue anymore. And so God, I don't know if God did, I don't know how it works, but I don't know if he took it or if he allowed it to happen, or God used it to teach me. But it was like, well, job's gone in ministry, dad's gone who I was relying on, I can still work hard and get stuff done. And it became this, well, actually you can't. Who are you now that you can't do that, Jon? Are you that great? Are you that smart? Are you that influential? Can you work that hard? And realize that maybe I wasn't relying on my job anymore. Maybe I wasn't relying on my father anymore, but I still had myself in the place of God unwittingly. I would never say that. I would never do that on purpose, I don't think, but that was the reality of it. Like it's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, acknowledge God, and he will direct your path. And I think, if I'm honest, my life was being lived as trust in Jon with all your heart, lean on his understanding. Everything you do, think through it carefully, and go whatever way you think you're going to go. And systematically, God was just breaking. I don't know how it works. God used these situations to break me down until it was just me and him. And I've had to wrestle with that.